Hi, I'm here with Coach Brown, and this is his testimony of his life and of following Jesus. So, how did you get into coaching?
I got into coaching. It's a unique story. I had got cut from the Arizona Cardinals. I got released from the Arizona Cardinals. I had played 2 years with them. I got released, and I had left school early.
Okay.
So when I left school early, I hadn't gotten my degree. And I can remember talking to my mother, and she said, "Don't let pride be your downfall." So I went back to school to get my degree. And when I went back to school to get my degree, I really didn't have no vision on what I was going to go next because I had put all my eggs in the basket of being an NFL football player.
Okay.
And as I'm sitting in my dorm room, I just got to, I don't know what it was, just like some came over me and I ended up being on my knees asking God to give me another chance to play football.
Okay.
And in the process of asking God if He'd give me a chance to play football, I also said that I wanted to become a coach also.
Oh, wow.
And share my testimony with kids and work with kids and help them develop where they don't make the same mistakes that I made. And I don't know for sure, but I know not too long later, I got a call from the Albany Firebirds to go play arena football. And I ended up getting a coaching job in Albany, New York. So what I fell on my knees and prayed for all came true in Albany. So I never left Albany. I ended up playing the next 12 years of arena football in Albany, New York.
Wow.
And coaching.
That's awesome. So talk a little bit more about your experience with the Firebirds?
Yes.
The Firebirds, and how did that propel you into what you are today?
Well, I grew up and actually became a man. I wasn't a little pampered, athletic kid. I had to mature. I had to change some of my ways because I was becoming a role model. I wanted to do the right thing, did it right, the best I could for kids that were looking up to me and admiring me. So I wanted to make sure I was doing the best I could at where I was at mentally, to be that positive role model.
Nice. And then, so what's your relationship like with Jesus?
It's an ongoing.
Uh-huh.
It's ongoing. I always put biblical phrases up on my Facebook page and Instagram page. I'm very thankful for where I am, and because of Jesus Christ, I am where I am.
Mm-hmm.
And, I try to make sure every day I wake up with tons of energy and giving the praise to our Christ, Jesus.
Nice. And what would you say to someone who might be on the fence about Christianity? Like, what would you say to that person that's like see you as a role model and as a coach? That what would you say to that somebody who is on the fence about being a Christian?
I would say for every successful person in life and every person that have survived their worst moments in life, there was a higher power that propelled them from the bottom to where they are now. Yes. It was a higher power that got them to where they are. There's a higher power that put things upon the people around them to help them. Nice. So yes. It's that higher power. So you have to try to get in touch with that higher power to really understand the why and how you can move forward to stay above what you experienced that was negative and improve your situation.
And how do you use your platform to glorify God? Like, what do you do for your kids, for your student athletes? Like, what do you do for them that you ultimately say, it's all because of Jesus, and you point to Jesus using your platform?
I try to just be here. I use my platform to be here, be there for them. I try to show up every day here for them, and be an inspirational person, no matter what needs they may have. I try to make sure they are assured that they can always pick up the phone and call me, and just have that person to speak to. And then when they do reach out to me because they trust me and they believe in me, then now I can point them into, hey, have you picked up the Bible? Have you done anything? Have you got on your knees and have you prayed? What have you done to reach that higher power and be thankful for where you are? I try to also change their focus because a lot of them are close to just giving up on life. So I try to encourage them on some of the negative situations that I've been in, right? How I've been able to overcome those situations. And a lot of those situations that I've been able to overcome is because I have a praying mom.
Right.
And through her faith, she's covered me and prayed for me. And that has helped me get in the situation. So what I try to do is return that favor to a lot of my student athletes that has a praying mom or may have a mom that's working 2 or 3 jobs and really don't have time to give them that attention and that leadership. I try to step in and play that role of their uncle, aunt, auntie, whatever I need to play for them to be successful and to get on the right track.
Yeah, me personally, I've also dealt with that where I just wanted to give up on life, and I feel like it's our generation. This generation is very susceptible to that sort of thing because we live in a world where it's very hopeless, and we live in a world that's very dark. So, so what is your favorite scripture and why?
My favorite scripture, I don't know actually the name of it, but I know I could do all things through Christ that strengthens me.
Philippians 4:13.
That's my favorite because that's the truth.
Uh-huh.
That's what it is. I truly believe that anything you put your mind to and anything that you are totally committed to doing, you can do. That phrase kind of gives me confidence, gives me belief, and it supports my faith that there is a higher power. And I truly believe, and I tell all my student athletes, you can do anything you put your mind to. You know what I mean? You can do all things through Christ that strengthens you. You know what I mean? And all those things are my interpretation through Christ.
And how do you apply that to your coaching? And how do you apply it to your life as far as how you live your life, knowing that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you?
It's just not just walking the walk. It's more walking the walk, talking the talk, being accountable. If you say you're going to be somewhere, be there, do what you say you're going to do. Mm-hmm. And I think just doing that kind of blessings are come upon you as you see young student athletes developing, and you see where they once were lost, and now they're found because of your leadership and the positive things that you're doing and the positive actions that you're showing them of how a man should conduct himself, and the accountability that I as their coach is accepting and showing. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping I'm being that role model by just doing those little simple basic things.
All right. And if you could coach any other sport, what would that be and why? Or would you only coach football?
If I coach I could coach practically any sport with a ball. And why? Because I think you learn life lessons through sports. You know what I mean? Sports teaches a lot of things that help you in life. If you don't show up in time, you forfeit the game. Mm-hmm. If you don't, there's things in life that sports provide that if you don't do, you lose. At a job, you don't show up to a job, you lose that job. You don't show up to practice, you lose that position. So it's a lot of life lessons that you learn. Discipline, the yes sir, the no sir. to support your teammates, support your workers, support the people you work with. Those things are life lesson skills. And I really don't teach like the sport. I teach the life lessons and have the life lessons of discipline be the foundation of what I'm asking the student athletes that I'm teaching to do.
So this is kind of interesting. I actually did a huddle on the armor of God and how like it relates to football. Like, how would you say that football and the armor of God, like, how do they relate? And what is it about those two things that make sense to put together?
Trust and faith. Trust and faith.
Yeah.
You have to trust your teammates. You have to have faith in your teammates as well as your coaches.
Nice.
If you don't have those two things, there's no success anywhere. And then comes in the discipline. Then comes in the integrity. Doing what you're being asked to do and no one else is watching.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So those things, I think, match up with the armor of God and sports. I think those are things that combine. And I think personally combines it all and puts it together and gives the answer to why.
Gotcha. So how long have you been a Christian for? And what are some of the areas in your life that you grew, whatever it was, made you stronger in Christianity? Like, what adversity did you go through that made you a better Christian and a stronger Christian, or led you to become a Christian?
I just think, and life being raised up where I was raised up from. I was raised up in Liberty City in Miami, Florida, and just facing those adversity and being able to be one of the few that was able to get out. And what I mean get out is I was surrounded by a lot of guys that end up going to prison and doing those kind of things, but I was that one that got out. And when I got out, I still reached out to my guys that I knew went a different direction, and just continued to show them love and continue to give them, this is what I was able to do. This is my direction. And a lot of that was basically just following the Bible and doing the best I could to follow it. Wasn't perfect, wasn't close to perfect. It wasn't an everyday thing, but I never lost the faith.
So what would you say to those who might be in that situation where it's like, like they want to get out of a certain situation, but they can't? Or what would you say to them? It's like, what would you say as far as giving the hope of Jesus regardless of their situation?
The thing I would say about that is it starts with that person first. Before you run, my belief is before you run to jump out of a situation, I think you need to reevaluate what you brought to that situation, what you could do better with your character in that situation. What part do you play in that situation that is making that situation a negative situation? Once you address that within yourself, then you can move forward on all the things that you need to improve yourself. From the perspective of if you're not, living the right way, doing the right things, then you need to change that. And that may be what's called negativity that's around you. But everything starts with you personally. Look in the mirror at what you can do to improve yourself before you start pointing the finger at any other negative situation that you're in.
Okay. So who do you look up to as a coach? Who is your role model? And why are they your role model?
I look up to my basketball coach in high school. That's who I look up to. He's the reason why I coach. Okay. What do I mean by that? He picked me up every day and brought me to school. And in the process of him bringing me to school, we used to have these talks. And one day I was in the 8th grade. He told me I was going to college. And I thought that was the funniest thing he ever said. So I laughed. And as I matured and moved on, I started looking up college. And then I saw that if I go to college, the education I can get, the place I could put my family in, and didn't have to worry about not having a meal, not having electricity at the house. I didn't have to worry about those things anymore. So I started asking them different questions about that. And him doing that for me, picking me up every day, having those deep conversations with me, he's my role model, and he's the reason why I coach, because he saved my life. Because I could have been with those other guys that end up doing 15, 20 years of prison. But because he picked me up, brought me there, and I knew I had to be accountable to him, and I had to be where he told me to be at a particular time. If I was not there, there were some things I experienced that I don't want to experience.
Yeah.
And one time he back then you could use the paddle. Okay. One time he put the paddle on me, and I called my dad, and I told my dad, the coach hit me. And my dad's response was, "What did you do to that man for him to put his hands on?" And I told him, he told me I had to be outside by 6:30, and I wasn't outside, and we was late for school, and he was late for work. He should have put his hands on you.
Oh, yeah.
That's what my dad said. So what that did was that showed me how important accountability and discipline is. Okay. And because of those traits that my coach gave me is the reason why I coach, and I try to give that to these young men that I get the opportunity to coach now.
And how do you think you can be that role model as far as like being for your student athletes? How could you be the same role model that your basketball coach was to you?
Be accountable. Do what you say you're gonna do.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's not an old chapter.
Yeah.
Do what you say you're gonna do.
Right. So who's your favorite athlete, Christian or non-Christian, that you look up to, and why?
My 14-year-old daughter.
Okay.
That'll be 15 April 21st. I look up to her because she reminds me of what I used to be, and she has that drive and that motivation to do all the right things and walk with faith. And she has a purpose, and nothing has taken her off that path. Mm. So I admire her for her persistence at being great in the classroom, being great in her faith, and being great at her sport.
All right. Is there anything else you want to share, or was that all, or is there anything else you want to say? Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for this interview. It was really informative, and it was nice to hear what you had to say about faith and God and coaching and everything else. So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Thanks, and God bless.